Hello, my friends. Let's begin with a simple, gentle standing posture. Emphasize a release of the weight through the body into the ground. Releasing your neck. The head floats upward. Softening the shoulders, feeling the length between the top of the head and the shoulders as they soften away from each other, and that sense of relaxation as it spreads down the length of the arms, past the elbows, which seem to grow heavy as you release the shoulders, to the forearms, to the hands, even to the fingertips. Soften your chest and your upper back. As you release your chest, not pressing it down or holding it up, feel that sense of weight settle down through the body. All of that excess energy descends into the belly, softening there. As it sinks and your chest releases, perhaps you can also feel your lower back softening. Take a moment to ease that space. As the lower back releases, the hips soften, the pelvis falls into a more natural position, as though the tailbone settles toward the earth. As the hips soften, the knees bend very slightly, releasing the knees, the lower legs, the feet, down into the earth. And when you're finished, the hands rest gently upon the navel. Gently circling your hands around the navel. Your awareness sinking into the space beneath the palms, inside the belly. Should feel great. Nourishing your organs, softening your abdomen. Allow the breath to be natural, unforced, very comfortable. Changing direction, circling around the navel in the opposite direction, taking the time to soften the belly, to release the lower back, to relax the shoulders, allowing the elbows to sink, crown of the head floating up effortlessly. Smaller and smaller circles, eventually the hands resting on top of the navel, awareness sinking into the space beneath. Then sliding your hands around your waist to your lower back. Gently opening one side of the body and then the other. Allow the neck to remain softening long. Don't pull down on one side of the neck. Rather, allow the full spine to remain soft and long, even as you open one side and then the other. Shoulders are soft. Hands are relaxed. The weight flows down through one side of the body into the earth. The other side is released from the weight and becomes light and effortless. Your whole body comfortable, like a tree swaying in the wind. Eventually finding your way back towards center. The hands gently releasing around the waist, the warmth of the palms soaking into that space behind the navel. Your mind is quiet and still. If your mind wanders away, just bring it back to the present moment, aware of the space beneath your palms. When you're ready, gently tilting the pelvis, releasing the lower back and hips. Gentle circles, as though you have a tail from the tip of your tailbone. Drawing circles in the ground beneath you. Both directions. That long tail, like a dragon's tail, or a snake, drawing a circle in that space between your feet, softening your lower back, letting go of your hips, maintaining a sense of release in the very front of the hip, where the thigh meets the abdomen. Gentle spiral traveling up the length of your spine. And then, larger circles. Now that snake's tail hanging from your body draws a circle around the perimeter of your feet. Gentle smile on your lips. The breath deep and comfortable in your body. Allowing your breath to remain natural. The knees comfortably unlocked as the hips are settled. Both directions. your head remaining in relatively the same location, the hips spiraling around, smaller and smaller circles. Comfortably narrow stance. Releasing the neck, starting as small as you like. I start a bit larger for the sake of the camera. Be very gentle with your neck. If there's a lot of cracking and popping, or a sense of obstruction or pain, please do not press into those areas. Be gentle. Find an easier way through. Go slowly. Take your time. Your body requires kindness and a loving style of movement and awareness to heal. Please pay attention. Feel the weight of your whole body releasing out through your waist, through your hips, through your knees, out through your feet, into the ground, as you make these circles with the top of your body. Always there's an awareness of the weight releasing down through the bottom of your feet into the ground. Returning to center, and again starting small, gently spiraling outward. Like the top of a tree, dancing in the wind, rooted, comfortable. The movement just spirals upward along your trunk and is released outward through the top of your head. Softer with every movement. Returning to center. Feel free to shake out your neck a little bit. Gentle ripples from the neck downward through the spine to the ground. Just releasing any extra tension that may have accumulated. And then softening downward through your body, releasing your chest, your shoulders, your waist, your hips, your knees, and your feet. Keeping your hands warm, your feet warm, and then feel that warmth soaking into that navel and the space just behind. It should feel lovely. Returning to a more neutral standing posture. Very gently rolling forward, like a car tire rolling forward. Releasing the front of the body, wave of movement releasing up along the front of the spine, and then a wave of movement releasing along the back of the spine. As the front opens and the shoulders sink down the back, it's as though the palms turn forward. As the back opens and the shoulders release down in that direction, it's as though the palms turn backward. Not because you're twisting your arms, but because you're softening through the spine and the shoulders. Take your time. Allowing the neck to remain long. Don't pull it down or push it back. Movement simply passes through. The breath is natural, unforced, unhurried, effortless and comfortable, always. Returning to neutral, and then again the closing movement, softening downward through your body, releasing anything extra, allowing your awareness to return to the center, quieting your mind. Comfortable stance, the hand falls upward and outward, turning the waist, releasing the front and then the back of the spine to look back, and then softening back down toward the center. Throughout this movement, as you turn your waist, if you're twisting your waist to the right, your left hip opens and softens and releases so that your hips remain facing forward. When you turn to your left, it is your right hip that opens, softens outward. It falls as you let it go, not because you hold it open. This continues to keep your knees safe and allows your waist to turn and your lower back to soften. Your hands, as they move, are soft, gentle. The elbows are released. Just let them be comfortable and out of the way of the movement. Your shoulders continuously releasing, softening outward toward the elbow. The shoulder blades continually releasing down the back. However far up your arm seems to move, the shoulder only sinks and releases, downward and outward. Opening and finding length around the neck and the upper spine, releasing the neck and the upper spine by softening long. The chest remains empty and settled. Even when you open along the front of the body opens, but the chest does not puff up. You don't press it upward. When you open the rear of the body, you do not pull your chest down. You simply allow it to move. Like the trees in the forest, the movement simply passes through you. Stay out of the way. Make room. Remain settled and grounded. Returning to center, quieting the mind. Always remaining warm and comfortable outside. Protect yourself from any wind. In a comfortable, neutral stance, one foot in front. As with all of our practices, turning the waist, the hips are released. When you twist your waist to the right, the left hip releases. When you twist your waist to the left, the right hip releases. As you pour your weight down the back leg, it's as though the knee in the front wants to remain forward. When you pour your weight forward into the front leg, it's as though that leading hip wants to stay back. This helps you to release your hips and lower back. Returning to center when you're ready, softening your whole body. Slightly wider, comfortable stance. Moving into golden snake, following the same postural relationships and movement principles that we discuss. When your waist turns to the left, your right hip remains open. Your knee does not twist or turn, but remains comfortable over the feet and toes. When your hand and arm seem to lift, the shoulder continuously softens, shoulder blade falling down the back, the shoulder softening long outward along the length of the arm. Your hands as soft as cotton. As gentle as the ferns you see behind me. Waist and lower back relaxed. Chest is empty. crown of the head always remaining as though floating up like the tops of the trees, so that the length of the spine is always maintained. Feel how the spiral travels through the length of the body. Find a way to effortlessly let it travel all the way through the joints, never to the joints. Gentle circles, opening and closing. The left hand closes to the right side, opens away from the right side, closes back toward the right side, opens away from the right side, left side closes again toward the right side, opens and closes, and then again changes, opening and closing. Softening the waist. The hand seems to travel behind you, but it's simply your waist turning, your shoulder always remaining neutral and comfortable. And when you're ready, a closing movement, sinking shoulders, upper back, lower back, staying warm and comfortable. And smile. Like a tree in a gentle breeze, or seaweed floating free in the currents of the ocean. Allow your body to sway and ripple, and just stay out of the way. This is a spontaneous, improvisational movement. The only set rules are those that I've labeled so far as principles, foundations, relationships. Now you simply allow that sense of clarity and self-awareness to guide your movements, finding ways to release. You're welcome to follow me if you like, of course. But when you feel ready, occasionally try something new. Surprise yourself. Enjoy yourself. That's part of the homework too. Continuing to allow the weight to sink through your body, out through your legs and your feet, into the earth. A sense of feeling weightless. You just let it go. Some awareness nestled into that space behind the navel. If you'd like, you can imagine that you reach out and gather in the fresh air through the navel into that space just behind the dantian. Or like a turtle in the ocean, gathering in water. With every movement, feeling a little more vital, a bit more alive. Should feel wonderful. Slowly returning to center, hands floating in front of the navel in a middle embracing stance. Sense of awareness between the centers of the palms, the navel, the spine, and the space just between the two. Quiet and attentive to your practice. When your mind wanders away, just smile and bring it back. Quiet and comfortable. Soft and still. When you feel ready, turtle spirit drinking qi. As you allow the weight to travel down through your body, sinking down, the hips gently settle as you soften your lower back, sinking through the hips, the knees, and the feet, allowing the spine to retain its length out through the top. So your back is relatively flat until the very end when you release your head downward, lengthening your spine further along the back. And then as you stand, as though leading with the nose and the top of the head, it opens and lengthens along the front of your body. Take your time. Be very gentle. Only sink as far as feels comfortable. Make sure your breath stays natural and normal. Doing something like holding your breath or forcing your breath at any of this point can be dangerous for blood pressure and cause a lot of tension inside. Instead, you release the weight down into the ground. You release the breath effortlessly, simply softening and lengthening the back of the spine and then the front of the spine. This is another one of those practices that is very effective done in a chair. And so if you ever find yourself feeling unstable on your legs and feet, find yourself a comfortable chair and try it then. Gentle awareness. Do you notice that as your body softens, your mind becomes more clear and easier to stay settled? As your hands rest on top of your navel, you can imagine that you swallow down any saliva that accumulated. Feel it as though it settles all the way down to that space behind your navel. Your mind rests there quietly. Keeping your legs soft. Lengthening the spine, softening the body upward, then releasing it down, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, chest and upper back, waist and lower back. Softening the hips, the thighs, the knees, the lower legs, releasing the ankles and the feet. And then it's as though you gather the earth and it flows up the body, through the lower back, and again into that space behind the navel. From the height of the movement, again soften the fingertips, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, upper body, middle body. Lower back opens, and you soften down through the lower body, all the way through the legs into the earth, and then as though you float up, awareness resting back in the center. It's as though by softening upward, you reach up into the sky, and the sky is pulled down, gathered and releases down through you into the ground. And then as you float back up, it's as though you gather the earth. And the heaven and the earth meet in the very center of the body. sinking down when you're finished. Whole body settles. Release any tension that may have accumulated. Quieting your mind. Begin allowing your hands to lead a side-to-side swinging motion, gently flowing and wrapping around the body, the hands gently bouncing off of your waist, the hips, remaining comfortable. Of course, if you have any pain, perhaps arthritic discomfort in your hands and wrists, you don't need to touch your body. Just be gentle. Release from the neck, through the shoulders, outward to the hands, twisting your waist from side to side, and of course releasing that opposite hip outward through the leg to the feet. Crown of the head remains floating upward. If you'd like to, you can change the angle of the swings, patting the top of the shoulder on one side, the glute on the opposite side. And gently returning back toward the center, slowly tapering the movement, keeping your arms soft, your waist very relaxed. Lightly tapping on your navel if you'd like, before again closing, helping to return the chi to the center. Allow your awareness to settle inside, keeping your body warm and comfortable. As though you gently fall asleep, your mind grows quiet, your whole body sinks through to the ground. Effortless standing. Simple, quiet awareness. When you feel ready, rubbing your palms together, bringing warmth and life into your hands and fingers. You'll be touching your body with your palms. Only do it when your hands are warm. Never touch your body with cold hands. This causes more stagnation, more contraction. Instead, get nice and warm, warming up the eyes and the space just behind, softening your whole face. As though ironing your eyes with your palms. Rubbing the face, massaging around the eyes, in both directions. Not pressing into the eyeballs themselves, of course, just around the bony prominence around the eyes. Massaging the temples gently. You can massage the jaw, scrubbing the face, bringing warmth and circulation into this area, especially if you've been in the wind and cold. Take your time. You can scrub the ears, fingers on either side of the ear, warming the ears up, scrubbing the fingers along the scalp, from front to back if possible, using the palms to warm and scrub the neck, the top of the spine, the shoulders, gentle self-massage if you'd like, all the way down the arms to the hands. You can spend as long as you'd like with this self-massage sequence. Emphasize any places that are especially important to you. You can massage your chest, the musculature in the chest, flowing down the arms, scrubbing the solar plexus, warming and gently massaging that space in the middle, benefiting digestion, scrubbing the navel. You can rub the rib side if you like, dragging your fingers in between each of the ribs, dredging the intercostals there. Again, massaging the solar plexus. Again, scrubbing the navel. Keep things nice and warm and comfortable. It can be very useful to massage the fronts of the hips, releasing all of the tension and stagnation there. And of course, most importantly for snake and turtle, spend time massaging the lower back. The musculature on either side of the spine, the tailbone. You can massage the backbone itself. Up and down, side to side. Keep your shoulders soft, your arms relaxed, your hands soft, your hips released downward. If you have a friend, you can get a little help working on your back, including your upper back. Another good reason to have a practice buddy. Massaging the glutes, the thighs, around the knees, space just behind the knees. Shaking the musculature, allowing the whole body to release. And then scrubbing down the outside of the legs, returning back up the inside of the legs, generating gentle circulation. Allow your back and legs to remain soft. This is not a stretch. You are not hyperextending your legs. And then gently scrubbing similarly the arms. Up the outside, down the inside to the fingertips. As your arms are pulled downward, allow the weight to sink down all the way through your feet into the ground. Like a snake shedding its skin. And then gently, shaking the whole body. From the knees, to the hips, to the shoulders, out to the hands. Take your time. Again, if this causes you discomfort of any kind, just choose a different style of movement. Always remain comfortable. Taking a moment to close, settle the whole body, quiet the mind. Enjoy your practice.